welcome to Connected by Community, sponsored by Ballantine Capital Advisors. My name is Ann Thompson, and I am a wealth advisor at Ballantine Capital Advisors. So we're interviewing today Marie Marquez with Amplify Sports. Welcome, Marie. I'm so excited about you coming in and talking with us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Marie, just some background history on Marie. I'm so excited because Marie has coached my two daughters for years in basketball. I think my youngest started on her AAU team back when she was 8 years old. She is about to turn 18, and she graduated from high school this year. So, and just I'm excited because you're one of the coaches I have loved.
Thank you.
We have had many coaches in our many years playing basketball. I have a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old now.
You're telling my age.
Yeah. And I'm telling my age. And not all of them are as positive and influential on my kids as you have been. You have just been encouraging, and they've never had a bad word to say about you. And you coached them for years. You've done some personal training with them. You've done some AAU ball with them. So it's just exciting for me to see you again.
It's awesome to just look at the journey, you know. I think that's probably the best part is just seeing where they start, and then when they become adults and just seeing, you know, who they are turning into. Yeah. So, you know, graduation season right now, it's very humbling. It reminds you why you get into it, why you do it.
Yeah. If you don't mind, just maybe starting with telling the audience a little bit about yourself personally and professionally. Who is Amplify Sports?
So personally, you know, I'm an underdog, right? I started playing sports or basketball 8th grade. So I was a little bit behind. I was sitting the bench in high school my freshman year, which if people watch me play now, they're like, no way. Like, you know, you play professional basketball. How do you make that leap in 4 or 5 years? So I'm definitely a product of hard work and of other coaches pouring into me and believing in me. Because that was probably the game changers, having a coach that said, hey, like, do you want to play college basketball? Who now happens to be the principal over at Riverside, Coach Huffman.
Really?
Yeah.
Dara Huffman, yeah.
Dara Huffman. She asked me one day, hey, do you want to play college basketball? And I was like, sure. I mean, I don't even know what that means. And she was like, that means you got to be in the gym every day. I was like, okay, I can do that. And, you know, that really just shifted the trajectory of my life. I had something to lock in on, a goal to work towards. And so it just really kept me motivated. And just now as a coach, you know, that's a great reflection for me as, hey, like, your words are powerful, right? You know, you can't change everybody, but your words are powerful. And if you can get one person to believe in themselves the way my coach got me to believe in myself, you know, that's worth it.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about your history, because you have such an interesting history. I mean, where you went to college, where'd you then play pro after that?
Yeah, so I went to PC, Presbyterian College, transferred to Belmont Abbey after my freshman year. My coach left. And then I went pro after my junior year. So I left a year early, and I went to Sweden to play professionally. So we were playing in FIBA, played some in the Caribbean as well, which is still FIBA. And then took a pause and started doing some coaching and mentoring under an NBA coach, Gannon Baker. And then I just got the itch to play again. And so I went back and played a couple more years. And then after that, you know, I really started committing to coaching and training and just building my business, which at the time was True to Hoops Basketball. Just going through that process and building, you know, my AU program, my training academy, I was like, you know, what's next? You know, what's my next step? And I was like, I want to coach for the NBA. I was like, why not? You know, I want to coach for the NBA. So I just started reaching out to people. And after a year, I just got nowhere. Like, no emails back, no anything. And so I put it in my prayer journal. Like, I was in the process of, you know, really finding myself spiritually as well. And I put it in my prayer journal, super specific. I want to coach for the junior NBA, for the youth program, and I want to work internationally and teach the game that I love all over the world. 2 weeks later, I get a call from China. I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, China. Answer the phone, and they're like, hey, this is so-and-so. Can't say his name on here. I don't know if he wants me to put him out. He's so-and-so from NBA China, and we are looking for, a head trainer to come lead our coaching clinics. And I got your resume from so-and-so. So the person he told me he got my resume from, I'd never met that person a day in my life.
Wow.
I was like, I don't even know who he's talking about.
Wow.
So I had to look that person up online. I'm like, how'd they get my resume? And, a month later, I'm in China.
I remember that. I remember you going to China and seeing all the photos coming back that you were taking of the kids over there that you were coaching.
Yeah, we had a big, all the kids I was training and stuff. I was like, let's have a big, pickup nights for the last week that I'm here because I didn't know how long I was going to be gone. And so your girls came, we played and just had all the kids in there, younger, older. We played some pickup, had fun before I left. And, then went to that next chapter. So I was in Asia, I was in China and India for a couple of years until COVID happened. And then that shut down our international program. And that's how we transitioned over, fast forward, into Amplify Sports.
Right.
I was in Greenville, which is, normally where I lived, and Greenville was shut down, but Anderson was open, and they were renting out. Someone called me and said, hey, we have a gym. We need some money, we need to rent it out. And so I started renting the gym, and fast forward another year later, they're like, hey, do you want the space? And, honestly, initially, I didn't. I was like, I don't know if I want to take on something this big. Amplify is 17,000 square feet. It's more than just basketball courts. We have indoor turf, we have a track, we have another half court, there's classrooms. So it was something that initially I was like, do I want to take on all that? Or do I just want to wait a little bit longer and go back overseas and work with the NBA again? And then I got a call from the NBA. So it was the same time, hey, are you going to go or are you going to stay? And I just felt like God was just telling me, this is what, this is what you're meant to do right now in this timing. And all the pieces fell into place. I have a great circle around me and support team, and it worked out. And we just celebrated our 1 year in April.
Oh, that's
so it's
fantastic.
been a blessing. Yep.
Congratulations.
So let's talk about Amplify Sports. Not only do you teach basketball, what other programs do you have inside Amplify Sports?
Yeah, so right now in summer, it's crazy. It's long days. So in the morning, we start off our day with our breakfast club, which is our college kids. They come in and get their reps in. And then we have our adults, our average adult, our moms, our dads are just got to get their workout in before you get with the kids. Because if you don't get it in the morning, it's hard to sneak it in the evenings, right? And then we go into camp. So we have our summer camps. And with our camps, it's probably my favorite time of the year because you get a lot of new faces, and then you get the kids that are diehard basketball players, and you put that together. And for a lot of people, that may be scary, but for me, I love it because the kids that have been there with me from the beginning can share their story of, hey, I was you one day. I started there too. I didn't wake up, this good basketball player. I was a beginner at some point too. Everybody is, And I think real coaching is if you can coach a beginner, if you can coach someone that just isn't a natural athlete, that's real coaching. That takes work. Right? Then I can work with professionals and these college athletes have been doing it for years, and I call that just being a glorified rebounder. That's the easy part. So I don't take any credit for that. If they made it that far, it's because of their love for the game or their commitment. So.
How do you motivate children, I guess, now that kids got phones and TV, and how do you get them motivated to actually want to play?
He's got little kids.
I do.
So
I do. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm
motivation.
trying to figure it out.
That's a great question. That's one of the biggest things. How do we keep these kids? Because the only way you're going to reach your goals is to be consistent, right, and committed. And when there's so much to do and so many distractions, it's really one about creating a culture in the gym that makes them want to come in there, right? Sports, basketball is a platform, but our culture and our community is what gets the kids wanting to come back. Those relationships, right? If it's just about basketball, baseball, it doesn't matter what sport, they're going to get burnt out.
Right.
So it's about the relationships and creating an atmosphere that's welcoming. Our 3 rules are our ABCs. A, always have fun. That's number 1. With everything we're doing, running is not fun. We got to find a way to make it fun. All right, so we do it together. Like our coaches do it with them. We got to always have fun. B, we're going to build skill, right? We're going to work hard. We're going to lock in. We're going to get better. And improving your game is going to improve your confidence. And being confident is fun, right? Winning more, playing more, scoring more is fun.
Right.
Right? And then we're going to coach your character. It's about lifting each other up. We want to compete. One of our, emphasis is competing hard, but we're not going to put each other down. Right? I don't have to put you down to lift me up. Right? So last week, our word of the week was servant leadership. And really about, how can I, as a leader, you can't be a leader without followers. Right? So how can I, as a leader, pour into the people around me? Right? Whether it's encouraging words, whether it's reflecting and saying, hey, this is where I was, whether it's being vulnerable with our struggles. Creating that culture of open communication and welcoming beginners or welcoming diversity is huge. And I feel like that's been a key to our success.
That's fabulous. I've seen you do that, and it was before you were at this level that you're at now, and before you had the NBA coaching experience that you had. You've always been like that. You're always there to serve the kids and to have fun and to encourage them and make them better people. That's what is so inspiring about you is I feel like you leave your presence feeling better about yourself than you did when you came in.
Thank you. I didn't know what to say to that. That was great. Well said. I have a great circle around me who behind the scenes, there's just like there's people behind the scenes now or behind these cameras that,
right.
Make it possible for us to be up here. I have great people behind the scenes who support me, help to get Amplify off the ground, and that's a blessing, We have, I would say about, 8 staff now, and we started with 2.
Wow.
And 2 was a grind. And even 8 now is, we have our college kids home, people that work take our boot camp who have now transitioned into helping in our different events and programming and stuff. So it's a family effort, and it's just really about finding the right people, right? If you don't have the right people to execute the game plan, it's all about finding the right people and everybody's different talents and putting that together, just like a basketball team.
Yep.
Right.
Everybody can't have the same skills. You got to have people that are strong in your weak areas, but everyone has to have the right heart for it. And I feel like we do, you know. And our community has embraced us. We have our after-school academy, and we've had some kids that, since we started last April, have been there since day one, right? When our classes were maybe 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah.
Right? They just supported us from day one. Our rec center, Powdersville Rec, and their directors just supporting our programs, and us, supporting them as well with just helping them with fundraising and things like that. It's been a team effort, and the community has welcomed us.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm just grateful.
So where exactly is Amplify Sports? Where's your location?
So if we're right here, a couple miles out of downtown.
Right. White Horse Road is our location right now.
Yeah, so we're going to go like 1.5 miles up right here to 153.
Okay.
So our address says Piedmont. So people are like, oh, that must be far away. But, from Augusta Road, the 05, it takes me 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? I used to live right there, so it would take me 8 minutes to get to work. So it's super easy. And then from 5-4 or Pelham Road, it's going to take you about 20, 25 minutes depending on traffic. But you can go right down to 85 and we're right off the highway. So as far as summer camps, you know, you got your summer camps in the morning. You can come to the after-school academies, which we run year-round, and then we have our leagues that are super popular right now and you know, easy to get to. So we try to make it convenient as far as times and availability.
What age group, I guess,
Yeah.
for kids?
So for the kids, we start them at 7 years old. We do have some 6-year-olds. It really just depends on, you know, their starting point, you know, attention span and physically just where they are. But we start at that 7-year-old mark, and then we have athletes all the way up to 74. So Miss Celeste just celebrated a birthday,
Oh,
and
that's great.
she's in there. She'll work out with me. I mean, we're throwing around weight
Boot
together.
camp. 70-year-old boot camp.
Yeah, that's right. So anybody can do it. So if anyone comes in there is like, you know, getting a little lazy, I'm like, come on, Celeste, go grab that weight. Let's show them how we do it. So yeah, we start at 7 years old all the way up, and with our classes, so we have like strength class. It's not just basketball. We have our speed and strength classes for all athletes, right? Baseball, football. We start them at elementary. We have our middle school and our high school and our college groups. But with the elementary, it's going to be super foundational, right? Building that core, building their footwork. Once we start progressing into the middle school age group, really teaching them their mechanics, teaching them how to control their body and also how to properly lift. I think education is empowering.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, our high school group as well, where they're just building off that and helping them prepare for college expectations, right? We have, our college athletes this summer who are about to go back to school, or maybe they're going to be freshmen in school, and they have their workout list from their coach of, hey, this is what I need to do. I don't know what this is, and just guiding them through that.
Right.
So just educating them on how they can be their best self. Right? You can't be your best as a football player if you aren't your best physically, right? And it's going to just add to those skills. So yeah.
Awesome. I guess now you hit a year. Well, what are your visions, your goals for Amplified Sports?
Great question. We got a lot, but I'll start with, I guess, the next step, right? Year 2 was about getting out in the community, right? Year 1, we just hit the floor running and figuring out, okay, you know, what works, what does this community need, who is our market, right? Year 2 is really about getting out in the community, and we've created a scholarship program. That's very important to me. I was a scholarship kid, right? Just, hey, Marie, just come to the gym, we'll figure it out. I was like, all right. Like, you know, I was going to all these AAU tournaments and, you know, single parent home. They just told me to show up and we'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So creating that program was very important. It's our AMP Athlete Foundation. And with that program, it allows for athletes to participate in any of our programs, our summer camps, our AMP After School Academy, and we've added travel ball teams. So this spring was the first time that we had our travel ball teams, and super successful. We started at 3rd grade all the way up to 8th grade. So we'll keep that going. Our fall tryouts will begin end of July. So if anyone wants to join those teams, you have an opportunity to try out end of July. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, go to our website. You can register now. And then really just taking those programs, that travel ball team or travel ball program or AMP Elite, and building that, right? For the kids that really fall in love with the game and want to take it to the next level, just helping them, giving them a place and a opportunity.
I think that's great.
I have one more question.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'm ready.
What advice do you have for parents?
Whew. That's really open. I would say parents, just be parents. Be your kid's number one fan, right? Because the biggest thing that I fight is I have to be opposite of what the parent is a lot of times, right? If they're getting too much of, you know, parents pushing them at home, and they get that from my end, you know, it's going to burn out. They're going to run from it, right? So parents, be your kids' number one fans so that I can push them,
Right.
right? Because most of the time they don't want to hear it from the parent anyway. It doesn't matter if you were a pro basketball player. You're the parent. right?
That is so true. I'm sorry. I got two daughters that I've raised, and they still talk back to me even now that they're 18 and 21.
So you just got to be their number one fan, right? And really like allow us to coach them, right? Because there's going to be times where there's a lot that they have to deal with now that we didn't. With
Right.
social media, they're comparing themselves every day to somebody else,
Right.
right? And comparison is a thief of all joy, of all progression.
Right.
They can't see their progression because they're still stuck on what little Johnny over here is doing.
Yeah.
Everybody's journey and timing is different, right? I didn't start till 8th grade.
Yeah.
Right? And the people around me, there were 7th graders, 8th graders that were starting on varsity, and I'm sitting the bench. By my senior year, like, I've passed all those people, but if I was focused on, or if I got stuck in the mindset of I'm always going to be behind them, I can never do that, then I'm blinded by my blessings or my opportunity.
Right.
I'm blinded from my blessings or opportunities. So I would say, like, just be their number one fan and continue to encourage them until they believe it, because there's so much that is going to try to distract them or bring them down with social media.
Negativity.
Negativity. And I try to preach this to them. It's, we start with our word of the week every day for a reason, because, we got to try to put more in of positive than what they're hearing everywhere else, So it's just a constant battle,
Yeah. Kids are lucky to have you. What you're doing with Amplify Sports and the community is awesome, and they're lucky to have you around.
Thank you.
We do have a signature question that we ask all guests.
Okay.
What makes you tick?
Oh, I mean, I am always, people are like, do you have fears? What's your fear? And, like, my fear is, like, what if I don't fulfill my will? Like, what if I don't do what I was made to do? Or if I half did it, or did I do enough? And that's what keeps me going. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna start crying here.
that's what keeps me going. You just you can get comfortable, or you can get complacent, but I mean, you just gotta keep pushing, because if you get comfortable, you're gonna miss out on what your real potential is. So that's what keeps me going.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to learn more about you and Amplify Sports. Tell the audience how they could reach you and where they could find you.
Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Working on that TikTok, so just keep an eye out for us. And then you can also go to our website, amplifysportssc.com, or you can give us a call, 864-883-8352.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you
Thanks,
guys having me
Marie.
on. We got to do it again.
Yes.
We do.
Thank you all for watching another episode of Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantyne Capital Advisors. Go out and make our community great.